Hi friends, in this video I am going to discuss something about alcohol addiction. Alcohol belongs to the family of closely related chemicals whose molecules are made up of hydrogen, carbon and oxygen. So there are several types of alcohol: methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, isopropanol or isopropyl alcohol. There is ethylene glycol. So many types of alcohols are there. So not all alcohols are used for drinking. Only ethyl alcohol is intended for consumption. So ethyl alcohol means C2H5OH. This is also known as ethanol. So here, before talking about the alcohol addiction, alcohol abuse, alcohol dependence, so we should know their definition. What is alcohol dependence? Alcohol dependence is the regular use of alcohol resulting in the tolerance. Tolerance means in the initial stages of alcohol drinking, he need very less amount of alcohol to get the pleasure. So in the course of time, he need more amount of alcohol to get in the same pleasure. So withdrawal means, so there are some symptoms. So if you abruptly stop the alcohol, the person feel some problems or he will express some symptoms: delirium tremens, hallucinations. So many psychological symptoms will be there, and these symptoms can be removed by providing the alcohol to that particular person. That means, so withdrawal symptoms and tolerance, increased tolerance. These are the two characteristic features of the alcohol dependence. Alcohol dependence means alcohol addiction. So next one is alcohol abuse. There are social or medical problems result from the inappropriate use. It is a slightly overuse of that particular alcohol without the presence of dependence. But he is not dependent on alcohol. So in the absence of alcohol, he will not get the withdrawal symptoms. He will not have the tolerance. So how to identify the phenotype of alcoholism or alcohol dependence or alcohol addiction? So if you are studying something, or epidemiological studies or the molecular studies, so phenotype characterization is very much essential. There is a criteria for alcohol dependence that is given by the Diagnostics and Statistical Manual for American Psychiatric Association. They had given one this one, and other questionnaires also is there which can identify the alcohol problem in the individual. That is the MAST, and second one is the audit. MAST means Michigan Alcohol Screening Test. Michigan Alcoholism Screening Test. So in this 24 questions will be there, self-explanatory, self-answerable questions, and after assessing the answers, then you can say that person is an alcoholic or not. And the other one is audit, alcohol use disorders identification test. So this alcohol use disorders identification test will tell you about the person's problem for the past 1 year. So whatever the last 1 year his drinking pattern, everything will be assessed in this, and it will tell about what is that person's alcohol related problem the past 1 year. So here I am just giving about the standardized drink. Standardized drink is very much essential. And a can of beer, that is 12 ounces of fluid at the rate of 4% alcohol, is equals to 0.48 ounces of the pure alcohol. So one can of beer is called as the 12 ounces of 4% alcohol is called as a standard drink. So if you take the wine, a glass of wine, that means 4 ounces of 12% alcohol is, which is equivalent to 0.48 ounces of pure alcohol. So that is also called as a standard drink. So a shot of whiskey or brandy, if you take that 80% proof things and 1.25 ounces at the rate of 40% alcohol equals to 0.50 ounces of pure ethanol. So that means one shot of whiskey, that means 1.25 ounces of 40% alcohol is equals to 4 ounces of 12% alcohol, that is equals to 12 ounces of 4% alcohol. That is called as a standardized drink. So how alcohol after consumption, how the alcohol is absorbed, how it will distribute to the different body parts. So 20% of the alcohol is diffused through the stomach walls, and remaining 80% of the alcohol is absorbed in the pylorus, that is means small intestine. So 20% is diffused through the stomach walls, 80% through the pylorus. So the distribution. So last time, the previous lecture, while we are discussing about the receptors, so some drugs will be reaching to the target organs by the receptors. But whereas alcohol doesn't have any receptors, so this alcohol goes into the body and tissues or organs wherever it finds the water. There is no receptors or the transporters for this particular alcohol to be concerned. So what happens? The metabolism and excretion, how it will be eliminated from the body. So there are several mechanisms that will be eliminated. Alcohol will be eliminated from the body. From the sweat glands through perspiration, 2 to 6% of alcohol will be eliminated. From the kidney, 2 to 4% of alcohol. From the lung, expired air, 2 to 4% will be this one. So through this only the police will detect the individual's breath alcohol concentrations. 2 to 4% will be expired. So that expired air will be having this one. Through this person they will be detecting, identifying the individual whether they are drunk or not. And remaining 90% of the alcohol will be metabolized in the liver is a major metabolic center for this particular alcoholism. So effects on non-alcoholic. If a non-alcoholic person drink alcohol and his blood alcohol concentrations reaches to certain level, and a different level of blood alcohol concentration will give different effects. So 20 to 50 mg per dl will show the reduced fine motor functions. 50 to 100 mg per dl, it will reduce the judgment and coordination. So 100 to 150, difficulty in walking and balancing. And 150 to 250 mg, it is lethargy. So 300 mg per dl, that is coma. So 400 to 500 respiratory depression, and also death can be caused through to this particular blood alcohol concentrations in an individual. These are non-alcoholics, not the alcoholic. Alcoholics, in the course of time, they get the tolerance. So they increase their blood alcohol concentrations without any problem. So moderate drinking. So moderate drinking is always good. Doctors suggest that moderate drinking, that means 1 or 2 shots of alcohol is always good. It lowers the risk of coronary artery disease. It protects against the congestive heart failure, and it reduces the mortality after the heart attacks. It reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes. So moderate drinking means, so for most of the adults, up to 2 drinks per day for men, and for 1 drink per day for women and older people. That means 2 drinks, 2 standard drinks for the men, and 1 standard drink for the women and the older people. So this is the standard drink as a medically certified quantities. So excessive alcohol use can also damage the tissues and organs and contributes to the certain cancers. It causes the cancer and pancreatic cancer. It damages the brain, immune system, and endocrine and cardiovascular systems. So excess alcohol will lead to the organ damage. So what about the metabolism? How the alcohol will be metabolized in the body? So ethanol, in the presence of alcohol dehydrogenase, ADH, alcohol dehydrogenase, it will be converted into the acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is an aversive substance. So raising of blood acetaldehyde levels leads to the vomiting or nausea, headache, all aversive responses with this one. So this acetaldehyde should be removed quickly from the blood. So that will be facilitated by the aldehyde dehydrogenase. Aldehyde dehydrogenase, ALDH. So this aldehyde dehydrogenase converts the acetaldehyde into the acetic acid. This acetic acid will further convert it into the acetyl CoA and enters into the citric acid cycle and releases the energy. So how much energy will a gram of alcohol releases? It releases 7 grams of energy, seven calories of energy per gram of alcohol. So carbohydrate, it gives only 4 calories of energy, whereas alcohol gives 7 calories of energy. Proteins give 9 calories of energy. So this yield more than a carbohydrate, but it is a pseudo energy. It is not useful for the body. It doesn't have the minerals, or it doesn't have any other vitamins, so that it is a pseudo energy. It will be stored in the bellies of the individual. So alcohol as a reinforcer of the nervous system. So it any alcohol intake will leads to the dopamine release in the ventral tegmental area. This dopamine will reach the nucleus accumbens and also reaches the prefrontal cortex, and it gives the reward response, and it causes the pleasure in the individual. So that every alcohol intake, every drink of alcohol, it releases the dopamine, and the person gets this one. That means alcohol activates the mesolimbic system in the individual. So what are the affected organs? There are almost all the organs of the body is affected, because alcohol goes to almost all the parts wherever the water is there. It reaches to the brain, it reaches to the heart, it reaches stomach, and it causes fetal alcohol syndrome, and it causes the liver cirrhosis, liver fibrosis. So like that, so many problems will be, so many organs are affected through this one. And also, so alcohol drinking leads to the accidents. Is alcoholism having any genetic component? Yeah, several genetic studies, twin studies, and also family studies and adoption studies showed that alcoholism is having some genetic component. That means monozygotic twins have that 55% of alcoholism, and in case of dizygotic twins, it is 28% of the chance for getting the alcoholism. So is alcoholism inherited? Yes, yeah, because of the adoption studies and family studies and the other studies related to the twins, is also showed clearly that the genetics is 60% and environment is 40%. So genetic factors in alcoholism. So genetic factors, if you see that, while talking about the metabolism, we told that alcohol will be converted into the acetaldehyde. That acetaldehyde will be converted into the acetate. In the first step, ADH is involved. Second step, ALDH is involved. And at the same time, the level of response also we are talking. Level of response is related to the dopamine. So if more dopamine is released, more pleasure will be there. Less dopamine is released, less this one will be there. So that even dopamine receptors or dopamine metabolic pathway is signaling pathway is involved. And neuropeptide Y is also a small peptides that are secreted in the brain in response to the alcoholism or many of this one, and it is a small peptide. So, what are the alcohol dehydrogenase? There are 5 functional classes of alcohol dehydrogenase. These are all located on the 4th chromosome, Q22 to 24 region of the 4th chromosome. And these all 7 genes are produced in the process of gene duplication: ADH7, ADH1C, 1B, and 1A, ADH6, ADH4, and ADH5. These are the 7 ADH genes grouped into 5 functional classes of ADH. And ADH polymorphisms, ADH2 and ADH3 polymorphisms have been studied extensively for the alcoholism, and 3 subunits arising from the ADH2, that is ADH1B. ADH3 means ADH1B, ADH2 star 1, ADH2 star 2, ADH2 star 3. That means yet exon 3 and exon 9, there are some nucleotide variations. Because of this nucleotide variations, you can see that different activity variants can be identified. ADH 2.1 is 90% of the world populations are having. This is the slow alcohol dehydrogenase, and 70% of the Asians are possessing one very fast allele of ADH22 is that is there. That ADH22 is present in East Asians. East Asians means Taiwanese, Koreans, Chinese, and Japanese. These people are having ADH22. ADH22 is a very fast metabolic allele. ADH21 is a slow metabolic allele. ADH22 is a very fast metabolic allele. That means it converts very rapidly the alcohol into the acetaldehyde. So this leads to the buildup of acetaldehyde in the body. This buildup of the acetaldehyde will leads to the accumulation, and this accumulation will leads to the aversion. Whenever they drink, they vomit, and their face will become red, and flushing response can be seen. That's why people from the East Asians who are having this ADH22 allele will not drink much, and they are protected from the alcoholism. Whereas ADH2.1, which is present 90% of the world population, this is a very slow allele. Slowly it converts the acetaldehyde. That acetaldehyde buildup will not be seen, and these people may become the addicts. So ADH23, there is one more allele. It is exclusively present in the Africans. ADH23 is somewhat faster than the ADH21, and this is present, and this leads to the fetal alcohol syndrome in individuals of African origin. The second one is ADH3. ADH3 3.1 and 3.2 are there. ADH 3.1 in exon 8 because of a nucleotide A, and this one is present in the black and orientals, and the other allele is having ADH32 that is present in other rest of the world populations. ADHC1, ADH2 equally present in the Caucasian populations. So ALDH2 genes, ALDH2 protein is involved in the conversion of the acetaldehyde into the acetate. So there are 17 ALDH genes are present in 9 groups, and they are located on chromosome number 12 and Q24.2. So here two different, there are 17 ALDH2 proteins, ALDH2 genes. They are present in the form of 9 groups. They are located on chromosome number 12. ALDH2 mediates the reaction, and it converts the acetaldehyde into the acetate. So that means ALDH 2.1 and 2.2, these are the two different alleles are there. These are contributed exon 12 of the ALDH2 gene. So ALDH 2.1 is a very fast metabolic allele. ALDH 2.2 is a slow metabolic allele. Slow metabolic allele is present in the East Asians. That is exon 12, there is a lysine will be there, and here 2.1, that is a fast metabolic allele present in the rest of the world, and exclusively 2.2 is present in the East Asians. This is the very fast slow metabolic allele, not the fast metabolic. It is a very slow metabolic allele. Fast metabolic allele is present in the rest of the world. So because of the presence of slow metabolic allele, this alcohol dehydrogenase cannot convert the acetaldehyde very quickly into the acetate. So the acetaldehyde buildup will be there. Again, East Asians, because of this one, and they are protected. Their acetaldehyde levels are more, they vomit as soon as they drink the alcohol. So it also offers protection to the individuals or East Asians. So East Asians, ADH2 and ALDH2 both offers protection against alcoholism to the East Asians. So altered higher acetaldehyde alleles related to the higher acetaldehyde. So ADH 2.2, ADH 2.3, 3.1 will be faster alcohol dehydrogenases. So ALDH2 is the slower aldehyde dehydrogenase variant. So this will not be converted into this. That's why acetaldehyde levels will be higher. So this will be converting alcohol to the very quickly to the acetaldehyde, so that here also you can see the acetaldehyde build up in the individual. So implications of pharmacotherapy. So disulfiram is a chemical substance which inhibits the alcohol dehydrogenase. So because of the inhibition of alcohol dehydrogenase, acetaldehyde will not be converted into the acetate, so that acetaldehyde buildup can be seen, and it blocks the ethanol metabolism. Acetaldehyde buildup can be seen in the body. Exposure to the ethanol while taking causes sudden and severe vasodilation. Hot, flushed face can be seen, dizziness, hypotension, nausea, vomiting, headaches will be caused by this disulfiram. So that the person who is taking the disulfiram, even if they take alcohol, it will be aversive for him. So contact with other alcohol sources, you can see that foods, saving lotions, even mouthwashes, even the products with the lower amount of alcohol also will be having the problem. So the persons who are taking disulfiram should not use the alcohol containing products. So next one is the dopamine signaling pathway. So as we told that alcohol releases the dopamine in the ventral tegmental region, and it reaches the nucleus accumbens, and from there it reaches to the prefrontal cortex and releases the it leads to the pleasure in the individuals of this one. So the dopamine signaling pathway is very much important, and dopamine will be synthesized in the presence of tyrosine hydroxylase from tyrosine. So the dopamine from one neuron to the other neuron will be reached, and from the synaptic region to this one, the other neuron dopamine receptors will take up the dopamine from here, and so the dopamine excess of the dopamine will be taken back to the neurons by the dopamine transporter, and the dopamine here sometimes the monoamino oxidase A and monoamino oxidase B, catechol O methyl transferase, these are the proteins that degrade the dopamine into the homovanillic acid. So whereas excess of dopamine in the neurons will be converted into the norepinephrine in the presence of dopamine beta hydroxylase. So that almost all the genes, tyrosine hydroxylase, dopamine beta hydroxylase, dopamine transporter or dopamine receptors, almost all the genes, COMT, monoamine oxidase, all the gene polymorphisms also contributing to the addiction of in the individual. So, to conclude this presentation, alcoholism is a complex disorder that involves many genes. So, genetic influence explains 60% of the risk. There is no single alkogene that makes a person alcoholic. The actual gene for alcoholism has not been identified. So, it is a very complex disorder. So, if you like this presentation, you can share the presentation. Thank you.